At it again today in the nation's capital. We started with 14 teams, now down to 8. The next two up count as A10 heavyweights. Rhode Island's Dan Hurley, the conference coach of the year, his team the top seed and defending tournament champs. Awaiting their challenge, VCU, the team they knocked off in last year's title game. Both Rams intend to run the table and hoist this trophy on Sunday. We're excited to be back. Round 3 of the Atlantic's End basketball tournament. 4 yesterday, 4 coming up today. A great one to get you started. VCU and Rhode Island. Well, these two teams are both known as the Rams, but they took much different paths to get here. VCU is the number 8 seed, and they trailed most of the game yesterday against Dayton before persevering at the end. Rhode Island comes in after a dominant regular season. 15-3, they do come in with a 2-game losing streak, their first of the year. We haven't seen an upset yet in this tournament. We'll see what happens with the 4 games today. Jordan Cornette is my partner here this afternoon. A lot of stars we're going to see on the court here behind us. Who comes to mind first?
A lot of seniors, Paul. That's my favorite when you're talking about college basketball. Guys who have stuck around for a while. Let's start with E.C. Matthews. It's a backcourt of seniors. This lefty plays an unrelenting style, very aggressive. But let's talk about the true headliner for the Rams. It's Jared Terrell. This guy can do it all one-on-one. He gets busy off the bounce, spin to win. And then if you give him space, he'll make you pay with the long ball. He's that kind of good. But ultimately for these Rams, their defense spurs their offense. They like to pursue some easy ones in the open floor.
VCU's top players didn't have their top game for most of the game yesterday, but did come through in the end.
They had him in closing time, and that's all that matters. Jonathan Williams, another senior, along with Justin Tillman. Jonathan Williams is a guy that kind of sets the tone for this team, but it was Justin Tillman ultimately when they needed baskets. The big fella delivered, catch with his back to the basket, carved out some real estate, finished over that left shoulder, and then right here punctuating the comeback with a dunk finish. Loved what Jonathan Williams gave these Rams. Typically, he's the distributor. This time, he was hunting his shot. He's a physical guard. If you give him that edge, you'll lose the battle finishing at the rim.
David Kaplan is the 3rd member of our team. He's courtside. Let's check in with Cap.
Thanks very much, Paul. Everyone knows Rhode Island coach Dan Hurley is an excellent basketball coach. But did you know, over the last 18 months or so, he's made some major changes in his life. He said, I get up every morning now, 5:30, and I journal. I talk about what's important to me, what's going on in my life. He meditates twice a day. He said, I've gone 478 straight days meditating. He said, my family, my players say, I'm the same intense guy for 2 hours on the court, but I'm a much better guy to be around. He says his relationship with everyone has gotten markedly better in his life, and they're in the midst of a historic season. It's obviously working. TV?
And on the other side, Mike Rhodes, first season as the VCU head coach. Has ties here. Was here prior to becoming the head coach. Set to go here, number 1 Rhode Island against number 8 VCU. VCU knocking off Dayton yesterday. This is the first A10 tournament game for the top-seeded Rhode Island Rams. VCU will have it first. Take a look at their starting lineups, the Golden Corral starting lineups. You see them at the bottom of the screen. See if they can get off to a better start here, Jordan, than they did yesterday. Really struggled early against Dayton.
Yeah, and they're going to have to work to find baskets against an incredibly stout Rhode Island defense.
There's Tillman, makes his first shot. He only had 3 first-half points yesterday.
Well, the inability of Andre Berry to elevate allows for Tillman to finish undeterred at the rim, probably all afternoon long.
Bottom of the screen, you see the Golden Corral starting lineups, and this is VCU taking an early 4-0 lead. Dariante Jenkins.
Vintage VCU. Translating some defense into some offense to get him going early. Paul, you asked for that quick start. We're seeing it early on from the Rams.
Rhode Island just dominant from mid-December to mid-February, a 16-game winning streak. Won their first 13 conference games, but struggled recently. On a 2-game losing streak for the first time. They've lost 3 of 5. That's an easy hoop. Good look inside to Jared Terrell.
Fantastic action moving without the basketball as Terrell. Also, it's nice to have a blockade as a screener in Andre Berry.
Jonathan Williams, number 10, the point guard / quarterback, was terrific down the stretch yesterday. A foul called against VCU.
In the front court, this is just Jonathan Williams working. It's because that on-ball defense allows Jenkins to sneak up with the okey-doke and the layup on the other end.
First foul called against Jonathan Williams. So I gave the numbers here, Jordan. They dominated 15-3. What style of play did they use?
Yeah, this Rhode Island team, they like to really get up in you guard. Defensive disruption is what you'll hear me talk about when describing Rhode Island and their approach.
Doughton looking inside. Outside at 4.
It's a fantastic look, going up above, over the defense, lofting it into the soft hands of Andre Berry. Ground zero.
And Williams would rather pass it than shoot, but did go 5 out of 6 yesterday. Huge hoop in the final 30 seconds. First one, not even close. And here comes Stanford Robinson. All the way in, no shot. Foul on the floor before he shot.
Really love how the pace and tempo through which Doughton plays right here. Tillman on him. That's throwing over 6'8". And the easy pass over Jonathan Williams down low. Andre Berry catch and finish.
Doughton's first assists, number 1 assist to turnover ratio in the Atlantic 10.
As a sophomore, Paul, it's really impressive to see how he carries himself on the floor, almost like a senior point.
Spin from Robinson, nice defense from Mobley, and here come the VCU Rams. Van kind of forced it, but found the bottom of the net. 2-point lead Rams.
VCU in attack mode, that's when they're at their best, unrelenting, much like what's made Rhode Island the gold standard in the conference this season. VCU taking a page out of their book.
Rhode Island turns it over.
Here's defense just staying perfectly positioned, going vertical. Van takes it, waits for nobody. Isaac Van to the cup to finish.
You saw the good defense there from Sean Mobley. Was good on offense yesterday. Freshman had his second consecutive game in double figures. Malik Crowfield with the ball. Isaac Van all the way in. A lot of contact, no call. This is Jared Terrell. Turn it over, second time down the court. De'Riante Jenkins. Quickly, right back with a 3, E.C. Matthews. Quick pace to get this one started. Van's going to continue that. Nice block from Matthews, both ends of the court. And timeout, Rhode Island. How about this pace?
Oh, this is fun. And this is what you expected with these two teams. A lot of athletes that play an up-tempo style, really use that defense to get him going. It has not disappointed out of the gates. A lot of long athletes, a lot of defense spurring offense. De'Riante Jenkins, his second pick 6 of the game. And what I mean is intercepted that basketball for not a touchdown, but a basket on the other end.
He is a former high school quarterback. I know that's what you wanted to get to. He struggled shooting the ball yesterday. 3 for 8 from three-point range, and it's nice to get off to a good start. He had a steal and a layup, and the steal, or the outlet, and the dunk. And we've got VCU knocking down 4 out of 6 shots so far. Rhode Island, even better. They're 3 out of 4. So this kind of pace, this frenetic pace, back and forth, you think favors which team?
It doesn't really, and that's a great question, Paul, and it's not a cop-out from me. Both teams are deep. Both teams have a deep bench, and you saw VCU, the ability to wear down Dayton because they go 9-10 deep. Well, Rhode Island has that same luxury, so we're in for a good one for a full 40 minutes here, and I want to put the jinx on us because we're not being paid by the hour, but we might be looking at overtime here. It's that kind of matchup.
Both teams high expectations. VCU 7 consecutive NCAA bids. 7 years in a row they've made it to their conference title game. Rhode Island comes in number 1 seed and also defending tournament champions here. Jeff Doughton, shot clock down to 4. Pump fake, bucket.
Such a cerebral point guard in terms of the moment. Never speeds him up no matter where the shot clock's at. In one-on-one basketball, he doesn't try to do too much. Always seems to make the right play.
And Mobley, little out of control. Tillman fights for it underneath, knocks it out of bounds, and we'll go back to Rhode Island. Timeout, Rhode Island up by 1.
Here comes the fight. Isolation, one-on-one basketball for the sophomore point. Jeff Doughton stops on a dime, drops it in. Rhode Island by the narrowest of margins.
Rhode Island's first lead of the game here early, 9-8. Let's go inside the game with Dave Kaplan.
Thanks, Paul. When you want to get a basket early, you have to set good, solid screen. Point of emphasis for NCAA officials. You can't illegal screen. Well done by Rhode Island to get their first hoop today. Let's go inside the play and take a look right here. Okay, there's Jared Terrell, number 32. Roll this. Now, watch the screen coming right to the left of your screen. As Doughton has the ball, freeze it right there. Watch Big 34 set a monster screen. Watch Jared Terrell come right through here. You get a handoff, and then we got an easy pass. Watch this. This is how you set a screen. Bam! Wide open backdoor layup. That's how you screen. That's how you run with patience. PB?
Cap, that's one reason they're shooting 4 out of 5 to get started.
Yeah, that's 6'8", 275 pounds, setting that obstacle right there, Cap. So, yeah, that's absolutely how you want to execute it.
Terrell misses, and the rebound is Sims. Would like to get it inside to number 4, Justin Tillman, averaging just under 20 points and 10 rebounds in conference play. They'll settle for that any time. Lane with his first 2.
Now this allows them to set that defense. A pass over the top allows for the break.
Oh, make that look easy. The nice outlet to Matthews. And an easy finish. Grofield with it. Gets it inside to Lane. Wanted back-to-back hoops. Barry with the board.
I'll tell you what, you may as well turn off that red light that has numbers. You're not going to need a shot clock today. These teams are playing fast all game long.
Doughton gets all the way to the hoop. Goes back out to Matthews. Long 3. And a rebound of VCU. Good look inside to Lane. Couldn't convert. And it'll stay with VCU.
That's how you break pressure right here. Great read from Robinson over the top to Matthews. 2-on-1. Challenges Tillman, who's non-committal to either the possible receiver or the dribble drive.
New shot clock at 30. Tillman with it. Back to Williams. We talked about the senior power for Rhode Island. Well, Williams and Tillman also seniors for VCU. Tough shot underneath. And here comes Terrell. Robinson for 3. Great block from Tillman. Robinson back up, and Tillman with the ball.
That's the kind of last line of defense VCU's been accustomed to over the years. It hasn't really been there this year. Tillman doing his best in the postseason to provide it.
Well, jump hook, good defense inside.
I think fatigue's starting to set in some of these shots. It's such a feverish pace. Guys don't have their legs underneath them. You're seeing a lot of open attempts being missed from point-blank range.
And Lane and Tillman both had good looks inside. Foul called against VCU. That one goes against Grofield.
Here's rejection in its purest form. Langevine, no. Tillman then regains, challenges again. The miss, and he grabs a rebound. What a sequence from the senior big.
What's gone missing from Rhode Island? I mentioned the 16-game winning streak, but they've lost 3 of their last 5 games.
Yeah, they haven't won a game since February 23rd against Dayton. 2 losses, one really bad on senior night against St. Joseph's. Look, as I see it, they clinched versus Dayton, clinched the conference, and I think they kind of took some games off, so to speak. Couldn't knock down shots. That's been a struggle. Big one there from Russell.
You missed his first name, though. Fats Russell. Wanted to say that one.
That's a great name.
Rhode Island ties it up. Foul called against Rhode Island there. Cyril Langevin.
That's what makes this team special. I talk about that depth and backup point. Russell capable of fully coming in and giving you buckets. Not the best three-point shooter, but he's aggressive in his approach. Shoots just a clip under 30%. But gives him about 7 points per game. So he's a guy that comes in and spares a guy like Doughton, gives you a different look at the point guard position, really pushes pace.
Rhode Island's made 2 out of 4 3-pointers. VCU yet to take one. Tough shot from Van, in and out. Matthews with the ball. Another open three. Jenkins touched it. Now Isaac Van picks it up. Jenkins, difficult three. Oh, he's got 7 points. All the way in, affected by Tillman, and back to Van. Safety goes all the way with it, loses control, knocked out. And VCU keeps it.
And I talked about Jonathan Williams really managing this team. Look how he gets the defense, all eyes on him. And then the kick out to Jenkins. Now it was contested. Jenkins just made degree of difficulty, very high three-point shot.
He was 3 for 8 3-pointers yesterday. Right now from the field, he's 3 for 3. A couple of drives to the hoop and that difficult three then.
Yeah, and it does start with the probing dribbles, really pushing it, trying to challenge that defense as Williams takes a seat on the bench. But he does a great job of making 2-3 defenders commit to him underneath the goal. And by that point, it at least allows the delivery for a catch and shoot, contested or not.
Mobley off the glass, rebound to Berry. Justin Tillman goes to the bench. Top scorer and rebounder for VCU. With a big presence inside, affecting shots. You showed the block earlier. See what they do without him in there. There's Berry going to the hoop. Kiss off the glass.
That's 6'8", 275. Pretty skilled player down low. That's a load for Mobley to defend. Got to do better if you're Mobley. Defending before the catch. Got to get him pushed off the block. Not an easy task when it's going against 275 pounds.
I would imagine they'll keep doing that with Tillman out of there until he comes back. Mobley 2 games in a row, double figures, 2 straight misses. Out to Matthews. Whoa! Didn't know he had that in him.
Rhode Island starting to come alive. Feed the big fella. Gluttonous down low. Andre Berry, look at the footwork and the finish. And then on the break, E.C. Matthews, ECMOMG. Up, up, and away. That one's on the family.
Rhode Island not only the #1 seed, but also the defending tournament champions. Go back last year this time in Pittsburgh. And notice the team they're playing against. VCU doesn't have all the players back. Jonathan Williams, you see him right there with the hug. Tillman is there, and a lot of the same players, the seniors now for Rhode Island. This is what they experienced last year in Pittsburgh, tournament champions. VCU knows what it's like to be there. 7 consecutive years they've made it to their conference tournament final. But last year, it was Rhode Island getting it done.
Yeah, this is a Rhode Island team as good as they were last year. So much better this year because they're even older. I mean, you talk about the key pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys on this roster that play big-time minutes are seniors. So this team is so accustomed to playing with each other. They've logged a lot of minutes. They've grown together. And those are the kind of teams I want to pick in March that are poised for deep runs because the moment not too big for them simply because of age.
It's so rare now in college basketball to see a team achieve at this level and have that many seniors, to have 4 of your top 5 players be seniors.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, you start in the perimeter with your best 2 guys on the perimeter and Matthews and Terrell, seniors. Then you look down low to a guy like Berry, seniors. So a lot of playmakers have logged a lot of minutes.
Rhode Island right now on a 9-3 run, and the turnover from VCU as the VCU Rams looking to stop the bleeding. It's been a fast game. We've talked about the pace here, Jordan. Already 13 fast break points. 7 for Rhode Island and 6 for VCU.
Both teams also, despite the stat, doing a good job of getting back in transition for the most part. Sometimes speed will just win out on passes or steals that lead to something the other way, but both teams making a concerted effort to get back, communicate, and guard.
Justin Tillman still on the bench. As I say that, he got up and runs over to check in.
Somebody's wired over there to the broadcast.
VC Matthews already having a day, has a game-high 9 points.
That's why Matthews and Terrell complement each other so nicely. Terrell able and a lot of times likes to pursue the three-point shot, whereas EC Matthews continually plays downhill and challenges the defense to keep them in front.
Shooting it awfully well, too. He's 4 out of 5. Sims thought about the 3. That's the second time in a row they've thrown it away.
Just waiting. How about the crossover? Then kind of sets the defense up with the hesitation. Then that explosive step, the lefty to the cup, and he's long enough. He's a quick, explosive athlete to get to that rim undeterred. You know, VCU is probably a team that best matches up with Rhode Island because of their depth. Rhode Island, with all these guys, the tempo, the style of play that's unrelenting, wears down their opponent, but not VCU. They've got enough bodies.
Oh, Terrell strong to the hoop, couldn't convert. Barry fighting underneath with the board, and he'll go to the line. He's made his presence felt early, especially going up against Justin Tillman.
Yeah, they're really in attack mode. Rhode Island, I do believe, at their best. Look, when the defense spurs offense, but also aggressive in the half court, attacking the rim. This isn't your granddaddy's VCU team, meaning they're not as stout defensively as they've been in years past. You can exploit them in the half court offensively if you continue to play downhill if you're the Rhode Island Rams.
Foul stories so far, that's only 1 on Justin Tillman. VCU's committed 5. Rebound to Tillman. Rhode Island still only with just 1 foul.
You got Tillman back in the game. Barry down low. He's got the physicality and the size, but he doesn't have the lift. Love to see Tillman go down low, catch, and elevate over the top.
7-0 run right now for Rhode Island. See if Tillman can end that. Foul on Barry, and Tillman goes to the line.
Look, I'm no basketball Buddha. I'm not prophetic, but that's what you saw right there. And it's that dump down, and Barry has enough beef to maybe push Tillman off the block. But if Tillman can do enough to catch close to the goal, his lift is way higher than what Barry can give you at 6'8", 275 pounds. So he'll get clean looks at the goal.
Kind of steps up with the non-traditional free throw style there. Has been struggling. He only made 13 of his last 27, but hits them both there. Tillman now has 4 points. 1 better than his first half effort yesterday.
Now you get to now you can apply a little bit of pressure, pursue some traps. These guards too fast for Rhode Island. They'll dribble right out of it.
The speed stands out right away, and how about that move? Whoa, that was pretty from Jeff Doughton.
Jeff Doughton goes about 6'5", but he's so long. Feels like you're watching a 6'8" point guard operate.
13 foul called against Rhode Island. That one goes against Terrell.
Excuse me, he's 6'3". He feels so long. I called him 6'5". It's almost like MJ versus the Lakers, except he didn't switch hands to the left. But he had that kind of rise and took that ball way outside to evade a 6'8" shot blocker like Justin Tillman. What a finish.
Averages just over 9 points per game, but just like with EC Matthews averaging 13, you get the feeling these guys could average more, but there's so many quality scorers on this team. They got to share the ball.
That's a great point. It's balance and it's selflessness for the betterment of the team. Again, that's a team that is poised for a deep run.
Jenkins already has 7. Terrell with the rebound.
Watch these guys run. Watch the secondary break. You got Robinson eyeing a 3-point shot, top of the key.
And Terrell draws the foul. He'll shoot 2. Foul charged against Sims. Next foul against VCU, and Rhode Island will be in the 1-on-1.
And you've heard me use the term throughout the broadcast, downhill. What I mean by that is this a Rhode Island team that has momentum going towards the basket, where it's like they're going downhill. That attack mode puts a defense on their heels, and it's overwhelming at times. And that's why Rhode Island's had so much success early on here in the first half scoring the ball.
Just as you would expect from someone averaging 18 points per game and a senior, all-conference player. Terrell good from the line, making 84%. This would give Rhode Island their biggest lead, and now they lead by 9. Well, VCU found a way to keep it close enough yesterday against Dayton while trailing much of the game, but they can't win that same kind of game against the top seed. Jonathan Williams out to Van. They needed that.
Again, it's Jonathan Williams on the dribble drive, gets into the teeth of that defense, collapses that defense, kicks it out to a shooter.
2 assists now for Williams. And Tillman with the rebound, almost traveled. VCU cut the lead from 9 to 6 on the last trip.
An extra pass.
See if they can cut it to 3. Good fight from Tillman. Back up and almost in. He'll go back to the line. You see the strength he has so often.
Jonathan Williams, the dribble drive. 2 defenders commit. A third one doesn't rotate quick enough. Robinson does get there. Puts the hand down, and that's the man down. 3-point shot for Isaac Van, and then on the other end, Justin Tillmaning on the offensive backboard, trying to create a second chance opportunity.
3 consecutive free throws for Justin Tillman. Now 5 points, 4 rebounds. In his 6th consecutive double-double yesterday when he got 15 and 10 against Dayton. It was 24-15, little 5-0 run by the VCU Rams, and it's now a 4-point game. Deep 3 from Terrell. And VCU with the rebound, picking up a little bit of momentum here. Now inside of 8 minutes. Jenkins with the left hand. He also draws the foul. And VCU getting comfortable with that free throw line now.
VCU doing a good job of leaking out, pursuing some early offense. 2 evenly matched teams. We got a ball game, don't we?
4-point game here in D.C. Capital One Arena for both sides. VCU fans and the Rhode Island fans. Number 1 against number 8. 4-point game. 7:48 left in the first.
VCU starting to tighten it in, pack it in defensively, elevate the effort there, and they're starting to see dividends early on. Jenkins was able to get a steal in that front court, go the other way, and finish the lay-in. And help side in good defensive position. And then how about Van? Just takes that thing all the way to the cup, challenges Barry, gets the finish. A lot of this is stops and then going the other way with it. Then how about Jenkins bookending this highlight with a dunk finish on the other end?
Take a look at VCU this year compared to last year. Defense not quite as good. And you see the record suffering. 14 and 4 last year. They made it all the way to the title game. This year had to fight to be 500. Knocked off Dayton yesterday, the number 9 seed, now taking on top-seeded Rhode Island. Jenkins leading scorer for VCU so far. Has 7 points. That's the first miss from the line for the VCU Rams. Are now 4 out of 5. Rhode Island was on a 9-0 run, and now it's VCU on a 6-0 run. It feels like the pace has slowed down quite a bit, thinking to what we saw those first few moments.
It is only for so long can you move and run like that before fatigue plays a factor. So the lonely action here is still very up-tempo for Layman's teams.
Good look inside from Terrell. Shot clock down to 9. And Doughton draws the foul. Let's check in with Cap.
Thanks, Pog. Just listened into the VCU huddle, and Mike Roach said, listen, I want to get the ball inside to Justin Tillman as much as you do, but he said if we can't get it in, you guys cannot take chances jamming it down there. Go to the short corner and either refeed the post or get looks from the 3. He said if we will go into the post, out, and back in, we may get more opportunities, so don't panic. Let the plays work. Back to you guys.
Cap, thank you. An early story here. Disappointing one for Rhode Island. Just 2 out of 6 from the line. And now 3 out of 7. That was Crowfield for VCU with his 2nd foul. Now in the bonus for the rest of the half will be Rhode Island, as VCU's committed 7 fouls. Rhode Island only 5.
Yeah, that was an interesting report there from Cap, because it definitely plays a role wanting to get it to Tillman, obviously, but feeding the post is an art. It's not as simple as making a pass down low. You got to be creative at times when the opposition knows that's your game plan. How are you going to get it there? Short corner, dribble drives and dishes, post, repost. You got to find creative ways to get it to Tillman.
Shot clock was down to 2. Air ball from Mobley.
Oxygen.
Good job of defense there by the Rhode Island Rams. I keep wanting to just say Rams, but
yeah, you're not
two
doing,
sets of them
you're
out
not
there.
doing the viewers a service there. Both Rams. Who are you rooting for? We're rooting for the Rams.
Scoring story for Rhode Island so far. The top scorer normally is Jared Terrell. He's only 1 for 5. Meanwhile, E.C. Matthews, their second leading scorer, off to a good start. He's 4 out of 5.
VCU showing a 2-3 zone right now, and that's the point of attack, that mid-post where Terrell's operating.
Terrell strong to the hoop. He's now just 1 out of 6, has it taken away by Mobley. This is Jonathan Williams.
That's the post. That's the play.
Tillman, tough shot. And Barry doing a nice job on him so far.
Yeah, Barry with that beef gets him pushed off, fading away. Tillman needs to make a concerted effort to go towards the rim with that momentum.
Van with a rebound. Great look to Tillman and a strong finish. Tillman now with 8 points and a team-high 4 rebounds.
And that is a productivity stream worth pursuing for VCU. Tillman should be able to beat Barry down the floor with relative ease.
8-1 run by VCU. And the ball comes back to VCU.
Tillman versus Barry in the sprint. Paul, who are you picking? I know who my money's on. Tillman with the north-south rim run. Barry lagging behind. Tillman with the exclamation on the other end. Just hustle plays to earn you 2. That is as easy of an offensive possession as VCU can have, and you need to continue to explore those. Tillman should be able to beat Barry down the floor time and time again.
Great bounce pass from Van, by the way, making the coach I grew up watching, Tom Davis, proud somewhere. Love that bounce pass. Van got stuck up in the air and found Williams. As you can see, would much rather distribute, but a strong move there, couldn't finish. Did make 5 out of his 6 shots yesterday. He's 0 for 2, though, to start this one. Doughton to Barry, stolen by Williams. Has Van. Gives it to Sims for 3. And Tillman had position inside. I believe he was fouled by number 34, Barry. And that's 6 fouls now against Rhode Island. Next one will put VCU at the line.
Yeah, Rhode Island feels like they're looking in the mirror when they are playing against a team like VCU. They do exactly the same things that Rhode Island's accustomed to damaging the opposition with. Defending, turning them over, beating them on the back, running, getting transition. These are staples to Rhode Island's success this year, and these are staples in the first half here for VCU's success.
Rhode Island was up, had the biggest lead of 9. Since then, it's been an 8-1 VCU run, as they trail by just 2 as we approach the 5-minute mark. 8-seeded VCU, number 1-seeded Rhode Island. Van for 3. It's long, and Matthews with the board. A deep 3, and Tillman with the board.
Keep running if you're VCU. Keep challenging them.
Jonathan Williams, normal point guard, on the bench. And they suffered for it there. Stolen by Terrell, and the foul against Mobley.
And Terrell's pleading for an intentional. That was a flagrant 1, keeping him from the path to the goal. I don't even think the officials are going to look at it, but great defensive anticipation from Terrell right here. Like a cornerback getting inside right there. This is a defense that's very ball hungry in Rhode Island. They truly shoot gaps. They take risks because they know help side defense will stay home to cover their back.
The good news for Rhode Island, that's the 7th foul, the 8th foul against VCU, so the 1-1 and perhaps the double bonus later, but they haven't been making their foul shots. Just 3 out of 7 so far. Now 3 out of 8.
Those are like turnovers. Those are pristine scoring opportunities that you're giving back by failing to convert, equivalent of a turnover.
Great look to Tillman. And once he gets it down there, that's his game. From down 9 to tied at 25. Little 10-1 run by VCU. And a steal. Jenkins to Sims to Crowfield.
Place would have erupted if Crowfield could have converted that long ball.
Rhode Island desperately needs a bucket here. Top scorer so far, Matthews, number 0, has 9 points. This is Jeff Doughton, and that's free. Russell with the steal. E.C. Matthews couldn't finish. Back to VCU. Jenkins to Tillman, puts his head down. And foul called against Rhode Island. Against the Kelly.
The Stars coming to the forefront. Down low, feed the post. Little Justin Tillman, JT, you can't stop the feeling.
Much 3:16 left, and Rhode Island coming back a little bit after a tough stretch. They now lead by 3. They come in as defending champs and also the top seed. Tillman for VCU, the only player right now in double figures with 10.
Yeah, and the only way that this VCU team advances is a star performance from their star, Justin Tillman. Right here, elevates over Barry. That's advantage Tillman. Defensively having an impact is that last line of defense, and then altering a shot here, and then grabbing the rebound. 10.7 boards already. He's just working his tail off for his guys. And then here, beating the bigger Barry down the floor for the dunk. Post play, he's showing all facets of his game why he's an all-conference performer. This team goes only as far as Justin Tillman will take them.
VCU fans happy to see him 4 out of 4 from the line. He had made only 13 out of his previous 27. Right now, Tillman and Jenkins a combined 6 out of 9. The rest of the VCU team just 3 for 18. And a correction, that last foul just before the break was against Tillman. He now has 2. Terrell's only made 1 shot. Continues to struggle from the field. No surprise, Tillman comes up with it. See if they can find a way to get it back to him down low.
First Lane needs to play high-low basketball. I love to see Lane catch it at the mid-post. Pass over the top. They're now putting Stanford Robinson on Tillman. You got to get it to Tillman down low.
And there he is.
That's a terrible matchup.
Foul against Robinson.
Right here, just a 50-50 basketball. I'm not a gambling man, but 50-50. The odds are that Tillman's going to grab the basketball. I hate this matchup for Rhode Island. I'm just going to be blunt about it. Yes, Stanford Robinson arguably should have been Defensive Player of the Year in the conference. He didn't, but he's a great defender. He's not the right matchup versus Justin Tillman down low. He can't post-defend a guy as skilled down low like that. So if they stay with that matchup, you best believe if I'm VCU, I'm finding Tillman early and often.
At 6'8" against 6'4". Back out to Terrell, down to Matthews. Little floater. Robinson, nice work there to tie up Lane. Possession, Rhode Island. Game started out with a fast back and forth. 13 fast break points right away. And then Rhode Island found itself, led by Dan Hurley, leading by 9 points. VCU came back with a 10-1 run. A little over 2 minutes left, and Rhode Island back up by 3. Leading scorer, Terrell, only leading scorer during the season, just 1 out of 8. Air ball from Matthews, rebound to Lane. Jenkins to Lane. Missed from down there early. Sims for 3. Tie game inside of 2 minutes. Rhode Island top seed, but remember, the first 2-game losing streak of the season. They're riding that right now. They've also lost 3 out of 5. And there's a turnover. Isaac Van puts VCU on top. VCU Rams coming alive here. The final few moments of the first half. They lead by 2. As you can see, different ways to show that. Some more Isaac Van had the last 2. And Van has 7 points. Jenkins has 8, and leading for VCU is Tillman with 10. Meanwhile, Rhode Island struggling. I talked about Terrell. Normally their leading scorer being just 1 for 8, but as a team, they've made 1 of their last 11.
This VCU defense has really upped the ante, hasn't it? This is what we've been accustomed to seeing with VCU. Defense carrying the day, allowing them to be successful. Vintage VCU right now.
Well, he was just 1 for 8, and out of a timeout, knocks down a 3. See if that can get Terrell started.
So first team all-conference performer Jared Terrell must give this team a boost to the half.
Lane thought about the 3, takes it himself. The bucket counts. He'll go to the line.
That's the right call. Stanford Robinson, I love the idea. Execution not quite up to par. I think he was inside the arc. Take a look at the replay. Yep, inside the arc. He moved after Lane had left his feet. All in all, you love the idea. Again, the execution just not there.
Lane, 60% free throw shooter, knocks that down. So Rhode Island 3 for 8 from the line, and VCU 6 for 8. Inside a minute. The 8 seed trying to go to the halftime locker room on top of the #1 seed and the defending champs. Berry inside, got it. Doughton with a nice dish. Timeout VCU, 4-second difference, shot clock and the game clock. Berry now 3 for 3. He's also playing good defense against Tillman.
It's a beautiful post finish right here as you execute nicely. You get it over to the wing. You pass over the top just in time to prevent Sims' help side, who was a second too late, to undercut and get the steal. Nice catch, turn, and finish from the big fella, Andre Berry. Look how he just gets that shoulder, lowers the boom on Lane, and Lane had no shot to defend. Good execution right there. Now for VCU coming out of this timeout, I'd probably want to milk this thing all the way down to about the last 6-7 seconds on that shot clock, which then puts you at about 10 seconds left on the game clock. You're going to ultimately, I'd love to see a screener down low. Play it to a side. You've got some height with Isaac Van on the perimeter at 6'6". I'd love for him to be the guy from that wing to pass it down low to Tillman, who's coming off the screener. Lane has the girth to set that screen to open up Tillman. Play through him for a last-second shot here. Give yourself about 4 more seconds to defend and prevent anything going the other way quickly from Rhode Island.
Rhode Island has 6'8". Nicola Kelly guarding Justin Tillman right now. Again, a 4-second difference, shot clock and game clock. Isaac Van to Jenkins. Difficult pull-up.
I don't like it. To me, that's a poor execution offensively coming out of a timeout. Like, and here, you even get Russell down, who slips.
Go.
I mean, you got the and-one move right there. Then you attack. It's like they were set in stone to run this play. Sometimes you have to audible, read and react. You bring Tillman off the bench in the timeout, and he doesn't even get a touch. Really confused by that one.
Russell gets a decent look. Nails it. Well, that could make a huge difference. Rhode Island up 3 at the half.
Mark that down. That feels to me like a big-time turning point. Momentum fully going into the locker room of Rhode Island right now. Failure to execute out of the timeout from VCU Crosso. Where's the defense right here? Speedy guard with all the momentum in the world and nobody near him for the three-point shot. VCU feeling themselves going to half. This is great screen right there from McKinley to open him up as well.
That's his second three. Let's check in with Cap.
All right, Dan, you guys had ups and downs, had a nice lead, then you're down. What do you like and what don't you like about what you saw first half?
Well, I like the overall effort. We're just having a hard time. We're a little bit anxious. You know, we've had great chances to convert, easy shots around the basket. We just got to kind of settle in right now and, just try to play consistent.
Also, they've been able to get the ball into Tillman some. How do you defend that? The big guy looked like he got a little tired.
Yeah, I mean, if he's going to make tough twos, I don't know if they could beat us with that. So we got to make him work a little bit more. We got stuck behind way too much. We did a better job in game one fronting him and pressuring the passers. We got to get back to doing that.
All right, good luck. Thank you.
That's Russell providing the exclamation point for Rhode Island as they head to the halftime locker room. 4 seconds left, some quickness, and then the range. That's how Rhode Island leads by 3. Number 1 on top of VCU, 36-33. Let's go to the studio and Jimmy Roberts. What does VCU have to do to not just get back in it, they're only down 3, but to get on top like they were toward the end of the first half?
Got to establish Justin Tillman out of the gate here. Let the defense know that I can score at any time. Right now in isolation, there's your feed.
Get it to him, kind of in a tough way, kicks it back out to Van. He had a very good first half, made 3 out of 6 shots. Now he's into double figures.
Not an ideal pass into the post to hit Tillman, but Tillman gets that defensive respect to kick out for 3.
Tie game for a moment, but Barry continues his strong day. They're back up by 2. Now Barry has to go back down and work against Tillman, which will be a key matchup here for this second half. Ball's going to come back here to Rhode Island. First turnover of the half. So for Rhode Island, their leading scorer in the regular season, Jared Terrell, struggling from the field at 2 for 9. E.C. Matthews leads the way right now with 9 points. Barry also has 9, and he's close to going into double figures. Nice defense from Tillman. VCU comes in as the 8th seed. Yesterday, they found a way to beat Dayton by 5 points. It was a tough game. First game of the tournament here for Rhode Island. That's Jonathan Williams. Yet to make a shot. He's 0 for 4.
It's a good block out from Barry, keeping Tillman a ferocious rebounder off the glass, preventing second chance opportunity.
Got Williams and fellow starter Sean Mobley for VCU, a combined 0 for 8 right now. Terrell, shot clock now inside at 10. He hit that big 3 at the end of the first half. Now makes the first shot of the second half. He's 3 for 10. Rhode Island led by as many as 9 in the first half. Justin Tillman misfires from 3. That's not exactly the shot they want him to take. Matthews couldn't find it. Zariante Jenkins with it. All the way in with the left hand.
Jenkins so good with that Euro step. And again, he's a guy, when he gets that thing with momentum, he's not going to pull up for 3. He's going to try to get all the way to the rim. It's 6'5". It enables him to do so.
Jenkins, Tillman, and Van all with 10 points for VCU. This was the matchup in the tournament final last year in Pittsburgh. Foul called against Barry. His 3rd.
A little back and forth. Jared Terrell trying to get involved, and again, it's that spin move, the rhythm bounce to get it going. And on the other end, Jenkins against Doughton. Doughton wants no part of it. When he gets momentum going with his size and length, it's awfully hard to stop him and prevent him from finishing at the rim.
That's a big call against Barry with 3 fouls, because not only does he have 9 points, he's also the one working over Tillman inside.
Yeah, which I'm kind of surprised Langevine's not getting more time in this one.
But Tillman called for the foul. Speaking of 3 fouls, he also has 3.
Yeah, that's big. But going back to Langevin being in this game, I'm surprised they're not using more of him. Last time these two teams met, 12 points, 18 rebounds for the big fella. So his ability, how he moves laterally, you know, he's got kind of the same body type as a Tillman. I feel like he lends better defensively to a Tillman because he can elevate that similar lift to contest some of those shots.
Mike Rhodes leaves Tillman in with the 3 fouls. Contact between Terrell and Mobley, no foul. Possession stays with Rhode Island. Up top to Doughton, the top assist man for Rhode Island. Takes it all the way in, off the glass and short. Langevin rips it away from Tillman for 2.
On cue, Langevin. I look for him to get extended minutes here in the second half.
Williams wants to get it into Tillman. There he is. Little jump hook. Tough to stop that. Tillman has 12.
Tillman started to heat up. To feel it, he's wanting to get the basketball. He's demanding it. If it's not him scoring it, it's him making the pass to lead to the score.
E.C. Matthews. Tillman with the rebound. And they will keep working it down or trying to get it down to Tillman as long as Barry's out of the game. Williams with his first. He missed. That was a great look for his first basket.
Mobley kind of edged off the defense to give him the path.
And Doughton with the 3. That's quite a swing there. The missed layup right away. Rhode Island comes back with a 3.
It's a 5-point swing. Missed layup. Give up the 3 on the other end. Another big momentum play for Rhode Island.
Williams, who really held it together for VCU yesterday, going 5 out of 6. Right now is 0 for 5. Tillman with the 3. Got it. Made 26 of those this year. His first 3 seasons, he was 0 for 3 total.
Yeah, and that's where he's kind of expanded his game. Look, nowadays with his size, you got to be able to knock down the long ball. He's added that element, which makes him extremely dangerous.
Approaching a double-double. He's got 15 and 9. Inside to Terrell. He was close to drawing that 4th foul.
Exactly. Key play right there to stay vertical, not to give up the foul. So we talked about playing downhill, getting to the rim. Well, both teams with a little bit of perimeter game here in transition. The pull-up, Jeff Doughton, no doubt there. And then on the other end, VCU with the response, pick and pop. Justin Tillman getting it done. We got a game. Called for a push-off foul, something, Paul, you rarely see in a moment like that, especially with the star handling the ball. So a deflating finish. If you're a UMass fan, for George Mason, they were ecstatic to survive an advance here in their backyard.
Rhode Island led by 3 at halftime. It's been back and forth since. Rams led by as many as 9 in that first half, the Rhode Island Rams. VCU just won't go away. Shot clock now inside of 10. And Doughton, that's a 2. His last one was ruled a 3 after they went back and forth. They did give him the 3. That 2 puts him up 4.
He's got the perimeter game going.
Trying to get it inside to Tillman. Langevin working on him. Tillman does have 3 fouls. Chris Lane draws the foul from Robinson.
The more I watch Doughton, the more it becomes evident he likes that rhythm bounce with his dominant hand, the right hand, and he is toeing the line. When he gets that rhythm bounce with his dominant right hand, he's an infinitely better shooter. His percentage is not great, but when he's going off the bounce, he's a lot more accurate.
Percentage pretty good here this afternoon. He's made 5 out of 6 in both of his 3s. Tillman has 1 3, air ball that time. Here's Langevin. Crossover step. And draws the foul. That one against Malik Crowfield.
Langevin, the Euro step. Impressive for the big fella. Definitely a charge, but how about the effort from Tillman to prevent the and 1?
That's 3 fouls now on Crowfield.
That could have been really dangerous. 6'8" Tillman coming down almost on his teammates. I mean, face. So to stick to landing. I mean, I know it's not the Olympics anymore, but I give that a 10.
Still kind of in the season. And the struggles for Rhode Island continue at the line. They're just 3 out of 9. Langevin just over 50% for the season. Has done a nice job on the glass, though, coming off the bench. He has 5 rebounds already. There you see the big difference. VCU's made 6 out of 8. 3 out of 10 start from the line. Keeps the lead at 4. Crowfield with 3 fouls. Difficult shot. Got bailed out from the foul, or by the foul against DC Matthews. It's actually on Langevin, his 3rd personal.
Number 13, Mike Crowfield line, shooting 2.
So that's 7 out of 9 for VCU. Easily winning the battle at the line. Van goes to the bench. He has 10 points. Crowfield makes them both. The lead back to 2. Jeff Doughton with the ball. Top scorer from Rhode Island so far with 13 points. VCU has a pair of players with 2 fouls. Rhode Island with also with a couple, and that's a bucket for Rhode Island.
Beautiful way to dissect that zone defense. Terrell is his own buster at the mid-post, catches, collapses the D, and a quick decision dump down for the easy lay.
Sims gets it inside to Tillman. Difficult shot. He'll go to the line. Foul called against Kelly. The man who just made the bucket on the other end. That's his 2nd foul.
It's just great space carved out from Tillman right on that low block. Catches, goes right at the rim, attacks the defense. And look, I play through Tillman like he's a point guard on the low block, meaning feed him, let him facilitate offense. Let him decide to pursue a basket or suck in that defense through double and at times triple teams and then kick to an open shooter or open cutter.
Tillman goes 0 for 2. And Lane kept it alive. Tillman had it, lost it. Off Terrell. Tillman now with 15 points, 10 rebounds, the exact output he had yesterday in the win over Dayton. That's his 7th consecutive double-double.
Gotta love the fight on the backboard, though. Giving your team another opportunity. Lane with the hustle play.
New shot clock, so plenty of time for Jonathan Williams. He's 0 for 5 so far. After going 5 of 6 yesterday. That's what they're looking for. Tillman, difficult shot. In and out. He'll shoot 2 more. Foul called against Russell, his 1st. Rhode Island already with 5 team fouls in this half. So Tillman, after missing those last 2, was 4 out of 7 from the line. Now 5 of 8. It's very clear to see what they would like to do now. They want to get the ball down to him. They do bring Barry back in, they being Rhode Island. Barry, number 34, has 3 fouls, has been on the bench here recently. Tillman's made just 1 of his last 4 free throws.
Lane almost grabbed him another rebound off the free throw blockout.
Well, they turn it over. Careless against that 2-3 zone.
Yeah, those are unforced errors. That's not induced by pressure. That's just carelessness with the basketball. And if you're VCU, come right back down, establish Tillman, try and make a play.
9 turnovers now for Rhode Island. Williams has it taken away. Great job by Russell. Terrell for 3. Got it.
What a great feel from Garrett. Could have pursued a layup of his own, swung it back in rhythm, trailing the play to his star, Jared Terrell. The crowd's coming alive.
Started with a great steal from Russell. Inside to Tillman. The bucket and the foul. Foul number 4 against Barry.
This is a heavyweight fight. Blow for blow. Russell gets the steal. Garrett leads the break. Terrell punctuates the play with the long ball. And then on the other end, the mainstay, the headliner, Tillman, responds with the lay-in in an old-fashioned three-point play opportunity.
See Barry looking over at the bench. He knew that he was going out. That's 4 fouls. Tillman wins that one. Not only gets the bucket and the foul, but draws that 4th foul. Tillman doing some work inside for VCU. 19 points, 11 boards, 3-point game. VCU stays in that 2-3 zone. Terrell misfires. Tillman with his 12th board.
VCU's having success with that zone. It's really disrupting Terrell and where he's used to scoring the ball.
Williams all the way in. That's his first bucket. 1-point game. Wow. VCU looking a lot more like the team that made it all the way to the title game last year. Doughton misses, another board to Tillman. Now with a chance to take the lead. Lane fighting inside, has it rejected. Tillman takes it. VCU on top. .21 for Tillman. Russell for 3. Yes. How do you like this, Jordan?
This is unbelievable. I'm turning into a fan at points just watching, taking it all in. The madness is fully here. 2 teams playing at a high level.
That stopped a 7-0 VCU run, the 9th lead change as well. Sims wanted to get it to Tillman. Williams with a pull-up. In and out. Ooh, run into Tillman. That could be foul number 4. Yes, it is. 4 fouls on number 4.
And you got to sit him. You got to sit him till at least the 8-minute mark. And it hurts because the guy's been giving you stuff like this and ones on the big fella Andre Berry, who has no answer. And then again, picking up the slack, the loose. Let's take a look. Was it a foul? Well, we got the luxury of looking at a replay. There he is hustling to get back to get to Kelly. It's a foul. I mean, he definitely was not anticipating the dribble drive to come towards him. Garrett looking for a pathway. That's just unfortunate circumstance. And that's when you wish it was NBA rules and there were 6 fouls. But unfortunately in college, there's 5, and he's 1 away from elimination. So if I'm Coach Rhodes, I'm sitting here thinking, let's try and keep this game as close as possible. Right now, no matter what, you want to keep him at least on the bench till under 8 minutes.
So not only the 21 and 14, he's also scored 11 of the last 13 points for VCU.
Now you probably look to Jenkins as a scorer, Williams as a driver to create, and you've got guys outside like Mobley and Van to knock down triples.
Jonathan Williams with a steal. His second basket, and we're tied again.
Plays like that go a long way. You're buying time right now with your star on the bench. Every basket you can get, and the longer you can keep this thing close, huge for the VCU Rams.
Terrell to Doughton. Back out to Russell. Terrell for 3. 3-point lead.
It's almost like Rhode Island's developing real confidence, knowing that Tillman is sidelined with 4 fouls right now. A little bit extra boost in their step.
Van has 10 and Jenkins also has 10. See if they can step it up without Tillman. Almost turned it over. Shot clock inside 10. Williams got to shoot the tough shot. And Lane over the back of Robinson, called for the foul.
Jonathan Williams, a senior, trying to make plays, trips Russell, waits for nobody, gets it going on the other end. Tie ball game, but again, one headliner out. Headliner on the other team's going to step up. Jared Terrell knocks down the triple. Very narrow lead here, up 3, but Rhode Island looking to build with the pill.
Terrell, tough start shooting, but now getting it back together, has 14 points to lead Rhode Island. He's made 3 of his 4 threes. Robinson missed the easy layup. Here comes Williams. Had it taken away. Van back with it. Terrell with the rebound. So Rhode Island had a great chance to push that lead back to 5 and see if they can get it done now. Turnover. Crowfield with the steal. See if they can get Jenkins back involved. Mobley doesn't have a bucket yet. Jenkins had it taken away by Robinson. This is Russell. Sweet move to get to the hoop. Rebound Van.
I love that both teams, no matter how close it is, with the clock starting to get closer to 0, still playing what the style that got them here. Playing fast, pursuing baskets, aggressive defense, pursuing steals. Team's not getting tight right now.
Foul called inside against VCU. Mobley, he now has 3. Mobley with no points. He's 0 for 4. And there's his 3rd foul. Back to DC right after this. Top seed leading VCU by 3. Their top scorer, Jared Terrell, has it going again in the right direction.
Yeah, you knew it's just a matter of time for Terrell to start heating up. And no surprise, it's coming when they absolutely need him the most. Look, it hasn't come easy. He's taken a lot of shots. He's not shooting a good percentage. 5 of 14 from the field, but yet, like all great scorers, immense confidence and amnesia. Forget the last miss. Pursue that next big-time make, and he's starting to come alive, which could spell trouble for VCU. And now the question becomes for the Rams, how long can you keep Justin Tillman on the bench with 4 fouls before this game gets away from him?
And when he checked out, he'd made 11 of the previous 13 points for VCU.
And if this thing extends to a 3-possession game, I don't care how much time's left on the clock. You go back to Tillman. You pull him off that bench, get him back in this game.
Terrell, meanwhile, there's Tillman sitting on the bench. Won't be long before he's back in, 21 and 14. Terrell's made 4 of his last 6 shots, including 3 out of 4 from 3. Thought about that 3. Difficult fadeaway. And Van with the rebound. Van 7 rebounds to go along with his 10 points. Williams has hit 2 of his last 3 after starting 0 out of 5. Sims, great give to Lane. And VCU down 1. Offensively doing just enough. VCU to hang around when Tillman's not in. This is E.C. Matthews in and out. Now VCU with a chance to take the lead.
With every second that passes on the clock, it starts to become a big-time win within game for VCU. Because now you get closer to a respectable time to bring Tillman back in.
Williams all the way to the hoop, fouled by Langevin. Let's check in with Cap.
I just had a chance to talk to Dan Hurley's father, perhaps the greatest high school basketball coach in the history of the country. That is Bob Hurley Sr. And I asked him about Danny, and he said, boy, he's really matured and calmed down. And he said he runs more sets than I ran in high school, but defensively, he embraces every philosophy of what I tried to teach my kids as they played for him at Jersey City, St. Anthony. Of course, Bobby, Danny's brother, two phenomenal Division I players as they came through his dad's program, and he could not be prouder of what he's seeing from his son and his son's team today.
Well, thank you. He's seeing Rhode Island now commit 7 fouls, so VCU in the bonus. Williams knocks down the first, and we're all tied. Barry, number 34 for Rhode Island with 4 fouls, is checked back in.
Well, one thing we know for certain, and talking about Bob Hurley Sr., he's definitely going to be proud come March in the tournament because both his sons will be dancing.
Well, VCU has outscored Rhode Island 6-3 since Tillman went to the bench. Matthews all the way in. Lane to Crowfield to Williams. Rhode Island here is the #1 seed for the first time in the A10 tourney. VCU knows what it's like to be in the big games here. 7 consecutive years they've made it to their conference final. Lane with the floater and Barry with the rebound. Barry wants it inside. Doughton for 3. Was left wide open, and he knew what to do.
Doughton has been special for his Rhode Island Rams. 6 of 8 from the field, perfect from distance. What a big-time play from the sophomore guard.
He and Torella combined 6 out of 7 from threes.
Look, you don't have Tillman down low, but you still got to play through the post to allow for cutters, driving lanes, and for open shots.
You can see there top of your screen, Tillman getting ready to check in. Sims for 3. Van keeps it alive, but couldn't bring it down, and it's back to Rhode Island.
Doughton just making plays. Look at him, just loses the defense, gathers himself, pulls the trigger, and fires. Lane want nothing to do. Teammates running into each other. And the payoff, the 3-point shot. A cool customer, always stays deadpan, never shows emotion. That's what you want, your point guard. And now the ball goes into the hands of Jared Terrell.
Tillman back in to see if they go at him. His teammates did a good job with him out. It was even 6-6.
Andre Barry's got to get a touchdown low. You got to challenge Tillman as a defender. As physical as Barry is, they're going to give the ball to VCU here.
He settled for the 3. Terrell had only missed 1.
As physical as Barry is down low, Paul, you got to challenge Justin Tillman defensively. That's how you get him out of this game. He can't guard a physical guy like Barry. He'll either give up the 2 or he'll foul himself out.
They both have 4 fouls, 4 for VCU and 34 for Rhode Island. 1 more and they're done. Another 3. He's made 1 today. Good hustle from Jenkins, but Rhode Island comes up with it.
Got to go to Barry down low, the big fella. Got to isolate, play a 2-man game on his side. Expose Tillman here defensively. He can't truly guard. It's a missed opportunity if Rhode Island doesn't take advantage.
Right now, Barry trying to set the pick for Doughton. Wait for him to come over. Doughton spins the other way, takes the difficult shot. Oh, a tough 2.
Doughton's having a game, man.
Williams with a fadeaway. Doughton with a rebound. Doughton now has 18 points to lead Rhode Island.
Doubling his scoring average. Guys elevating their game come tournament time.
VCU desperate for a stop here. And a foul by Van up top. That's 6 fouls now against VCU. 1 more to the bonus.
Look, I don't know about Jeff Doughton Sr., but I know Jeff Doughton Jr. has some game. Off the bounce, gets the floater. Rhode Island by 4. We got a game. Come on back.
Number 1 against 8 has been a very good one so far. Top-seeded Rhode Island on top of VCU by 4. Big reason they're on top, Jeff Doughton. He's had 5 points since VCU took the lead 59-58.
What a cool customer under pressure, and that's what you want in your point guard. Only a sophomore, but the demeanor of a fifth-year senior. Takes what the defense gives him. Right here, Van, a little too lackadaisical. He makes him pay. Defense doesn't commit. Again, this time it's Tillman who doesn't play up on him, and he's exposing mismatches. Chris Lane, the big fella, stuck out on an island defending him. He takes it to him, and he has a size advantage on this one, going against the smaller guard at Jonathan Williams. With his size at 6'3" at the guard spot and his length, he plays so vertical that it's a tough matchup for a big to defend or even a smallish guard.
He's still in the game. He's made 5 out of 7 shots. Knocked down both of his threes also. Shot clock inside at 10. Down to 3. And the rebounds at Van. See if they can find Tillman. His last bucket came at 11:13 left in the half.
Oh, they got him. They're not even looking. Not even looking at your star player who cannot be stopped.
And keep in mind the man guarding him has 4 fouls as well. It's a reach-in foul against Russell. And it'll be a bonus situation. 1-and-1 coming.
Let's take a look right here. Missed him initially as he had Barry buried. Then again, stays with it.
Tillman's made 6 out of 10 from the line, now 6 out of 11. And that one hurt.
Man.
See who they go to with a 4-point lead here. Doughton, man with the ball, their top scorer. Into Terrell, out to Russell. Shot clock at 5. Robinson for 3. That's huge.
Plays like that. Difference between a 1 seed and an 8 seed.
Jenkins for 3. Short. Doughton rebound.
Poor shot selection there from Jenkins. Trying to get it all back in one play. Got to stay methodical. Again, going away from Tillman. He's starting to plague these Rams.
Boy, they've been shooting well this half. 6 out of 10 3-pointers for Rhode Island. Doughton thought about it. Russell with another 3. And that's going to be a foul against Van.
Sherry the Sugar. Look at the touches right here. All across the perimeter. That zone on its heels, allowing Stanford Robinson, the lucky lefty, to knock down the long ball.
Inside of 2 minutes now. Dan Hurley's team in control, leading by 7. Meanwhile, Rhode Island on an 8-0 run after they trailed 59-58. Jared Terrell struggled in the first half, strong second half. With Jeff Doughton leading the way right now for Rhode Island. Number 11 has 18.
Jeff Doughton has been sublime for his Rhode Island Rams. Thoroughly impressed with how this young man carries himself, no matter how big the moment.
1-and-1 situation, amazing. They're now 3 for 11 shooting free throws. Huge possession coming up for VCU.
Gotta have one.
Tillman, leading scorer, up and in. He now has 23. A lot of contact between a couple of guys with 4 fouls there.
Yeah, real heady play, in all honesty, from Andre Berry. Understanding that's a big play if he takes that charge, and if he fouls out, you've got other interior defenders to throw at Tillman. But here, Tillman lowers that boom. I'm surprised the officials ate the whistle. A lot of times that call comes. It's almost like the officials understand the body of work for 4 years from Tillman and the finality of his career on the line. And chose to eat it there. I may be reading too much into the line, between the lines there. Maybe I'm a drama king, but that looked like a charge.
You say body of work, 4 years. We have so many seniors out there playing right now.
Yeah.
Tillman, Williams for VCU, and Matthews, Terrell for Rhode Island.
Gary defending him was one of them. Yeah, there's a lot of seniors out there. Good call.
Great numbers there. 7 consecutive double-double for Justin Tillman.
Defensively, 2-possession game. You do not have to foul here if you're VCU. You do need to defend for the entire shot clock, get a stop, and rebound. There's no need to foul here in this possession.
See how much of a press they put on here. Crowfield guarding the ball on Russell. Rhode Island led by as many as 9 in the first half. It's been back and forth since. Doughton has it taken away by Williams. Stay here with Rhode Island. 14 left to shoot. Langevin checks back in. Russell goes out. They go to a bigger lineup here. Want to give inside to Robinson. Huge two.
That's all coaching. A great coach can account for 2 to 4 points off inbound sets. That was a great play drawn up.
Williams tries to get it back. Tillman with a strong board, but he was fouled. He'll go to the line.
These 2 points go to Coach Danny Hurley. What a great set here. Back screen, poor defense from Sims, who needs to be the help side to stay home. But that back screen, up screen, so to speak, allows for the basket. Now down screen's coming down. That's an up screen where you catch that defense in the back, unsuspecting, allowing for the guy to cut right in front of their face to the basket.
Especially unsuspecting when there's no communication about it.
Yeah, somebody's got to protect the goal and be at home.
Tillman struggling from the line, now just 6 out of 12. He's missed some huge ones. Missed 2 here in these last 3 minutes.
Yeah, as great as he's been, those have been the plays that you might look at to say, what could have been?
A couple of moments ago, he missed
Got a
one.
foul.
Rhode Island came right back and hit a 3. There's your foul from Sims.
Now, these are the plays that are always bewildering to me. Understanding time, score. Time, score. 7-point game. Look at Coach. He understands it. And at the end of the day, I mean, a guy without, I mean, you can't go out there and do it. A leader without followers is a guy just taking a walk.
Rhode Island right now just 3 out of 11 shooting free throws. That one puts them up 8. Rhode Island coming in as the top seed for the first time. He makes them both. They had lost 2 consecutive games for the first time all season and 3 of their previous 5. It's been tight the entire way. This is Jenkins for 3. Got it. Timeout called VCU. It's back to a 6-point lead.
Still a 2-possession game. A lot on the line still. A lot of game left. From Jenkins, but not quite sure perimeter defense where it's at there. Got to guard shooters at the 3-point line. That's most important with the lead and where it's at. So coming out of this, I would pursue a potential double team and potential trap to get a steal. But once that doesn't seem like it's readily available, then you foul. Pursue a trap. If you don't have it in those first 5 seconds, 4 or 5 seconds, then you foul.
Next foul will still be just a 1-and-1. It would be their 9th foul. See if they have some more sense of urgency here. Rhode Island, a great job of escaping the pressure, and there's the foul from Williams.
Pretty good execution offensively from a guard-laden Rhode Island team out there. Guys who are incredibly quick, guys who are comfortable with the basketball, and guys who move it well.
Tillman comes back in with his 23 points, 15 rebounds. Both game highs. And Russell at the line, 81% free throw shooter. He's at the line for the first time today. So they were 3 out of 10. Now they've made their last 3 in a row. Big that he made at least one of those, pushing it to a 3-possession game. on the line, and they're now back up by 8. Feels like a long time ago that VCU was leading 59-58. Tillman, air ball, rebound to Robinson. And the foul called against Van. Boy, it was quite a fight for a long time, Jordan. VCU was right there. Justin Tillman, the man you're looking at, picked up his 4th foul. The VCU Rams really hung around when he was out. It was more defensively.
Yeah, too many weapons for this Rhode Island team. I talked about Rhode Island looking in the mirror and seeing VCU. Well, VCU is Rhode Island 1.0. And VCU doesn't have the weapons Rhode Island has, so you can only fight for so long.
So this streak likely going to come to an end. VCU, 7 consecutive NCAA appearances. They had to win this tournament to make it back. With the record coming into this one, 18-14, about to be 18-15.
A lot of pieces returned, a lot of great recruits coming in. Marcus Evans, the Rice transfer who followed his coach, will be ready next year. This team's going to compete for a championship, and they've got the right guy in place, Coach Mike Rhodes.
Jenkins has made 3 3-pointers now. He has 13 points. Make that 16. Rhode Island leads by 7.
Having spent a lot of time around this VCU program this season, fully aware of what they bring next season. And this team is once again going to return to being one of the more dominant teams in conference. But for right now, celebrate this Rhode Island team and what Coach Danny Hurley has built. And he's built it the old-fashioned way. Freshmen who become sophomores, sophomores who become seniors. And Paul, are you ready for this? Juniors who become those seniors. Isn't that unbelievable?
Some terrific senior talent out on the court for both sides. The career's about to come to an end for Justin Tillman. 18 consecutive double-doubles. That's how he'll go out as a senior. Jonathan Williams, terrific point guard. Be the first time in their careers they haven't made it all the way to the A10 title game for the tournament. About to be Rhode Island to move into the Field of 4. They'll take on the winner of the next game. That's St. Joe's and George Mason. That'll happen tomorrow. See if Jenkins can knock down another 3. And that rebound to Matthews. Rhode Island, they knew they were in a game. They trailed in the second half. Trailed late, but they snap a 2-game losing streak, and they move on to the A10 tournament.
Rhode Island gets back to their winning ways. 2 bad losses, 1 really bad one at home on senior night to St. Joe's. Couldn't close it out, make shots down the stretch from the free throw line against Davidson. Got right back, big time.
It was the biggest difference down the stretch because it was back and forth until those final few minutes.
Yeah, you know, it came down to VCU doesn't have the firepower. And when Tillman had those 4 fouls, yeah, they were able to keep their head above water, but they couldn't really play through him like they wanted to. Some shot selection was questionable, and this Rhode Island team made plays down the stretch.
Rhode Island with 4 players in double figures. Matthews had 11. Doughton was terrific, made 7 out of 10 shots. He had 18. Terrell got it together in the second half to contribute 16 points. Russell also had 11. Number 1 seed and defending tournament champions moving on after a heck of a fight against VCU. Rhode Island outscored VCU 18-8 in the final 5 minutes and 40 seconds.
How about the performance from Jeff Doughton, the guard, the sophomore guard? Ceiling for him, I can't determine it. When you play like that, a guy like that stepping up for his team, that's huge.
Here's Cap with Dan Hurley.
It was a war. It was a battle. Tell me about what turned the tide for Rhode Island.
I mean, we've had a great season. I mean, we clinched our conference in Game 16, lost our way for a game, lost a tough road game. We had great fan support here, but we won a heck of a road game here today in D.C. Anytime you can beat VCU, in their region, it's a heck of a win.
there was a moment where you took a timeout in the second half, you're struggling, and you had a smile on your face in the huddle. You said, guys, enjoy this. This is postseason basketball. Take me back to that moment.
I mean, we've had a great season. I mean, you know, we had a bad week, but we've had a great season. I trust this team, especially this time of year. We have the type of team that I think is ready to play its best ball.
How about looking ahead now, another game tomorrow?
It's exciting. I mean, to get a chance to play in the semifinals here, you know, in D.C., you know, we're trying to get the third straight championship trophy from the A10. We won the conference championship tournament last year. We took the regular season this year. We want that third one.
It had to mean a lot. I talked to your dad. He said, I can't tell you how proud I am of the person and the way his team plays.
Yeah, I mean, we have high character kids. I think that, you know, I'm a reflection of my brother and my father and who we are. But more our program's a reflection of the players we have. They're very talented. They're high character. They're winners, and they've done so much for the university.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
15-3 in the regular season in the A10, and now 1-0 in the A10 tournament. I would imagine they'll shout